X. Imagine you're the trapezius muscle, X, and you consist of 3 parts. But 2 parts are constantly inactive and only one of them gets overloaded and it hurts all the time, and because of that you also get headaches because the occipital nerve gets pinched right here. And your owner constantly wants to get rid of you, hates you because of your tension and keeps trying to stretch you or somehow relax you. But he completely forgot that your 2 lower parts have become very atrophied and barely work at all. And that's why this upper part is always tense. Any movement he makes with his hands, every time he lifts his arm, it tenses up. Only this upper portion of yours, while the lower parts gradually become smaller, smaller, thinner and thinner. And it got to the point where he decided to inject you with Botox. And he goes and injects Botox into you right in the places where he feels the most tension. And it seems to get easier for him for a while. But then the pain becomes even stronger. Your owner notices that his shoulders are shifting even more. Now, not only does he have a headache in the back of his head, but also dizziness, and his neck has stopped moving. And he already regrets doing all of this. But you can't turn back time. And you become smaller, smaller, smaller and smaller. Because you are the trapezius muscle, you are not performing your function. Your function is to hold the shoulder blades in the back, maintain posture, and participate in movements when we pull something toward ourselves. But in your owner's life, these movements don't exist. The most he ever does when he pulls something like this is open the door of his car. He doesn't use you in any other way. That's why you've gradually become completely atrophied and your owner died. Live to be 97, constantly suffering from headaches, because your weakness is not a fatal disease, but life will be hard and you'll feel dizzy and you'll have a headache all the time. So, friends, what should you do to prevent this from happening? The trapezius muscle, as you understand, takes quite a bit. An important part in our daily lives. The thing is, it has 3 parts. You can divide it into the upper part. They all start from the spine of the scapula, here, from the scapula, right here. The upper part attaches to the cervical vertebrae and the occiput. The middle part, so roughly speaking, all of this is divided by movements. Why do we divide it into 3 parts? According to the direction of movement, the upper part lifts the shoulder upward. It works with the muscle that lifts the scapula and the deltoid muscle. When the deltoid muscle doesn't work, the trapezius starts to get overloaded and begins to participate excessively in this movement. When the middle part doesn't work, the middle one, what does it do? Together with the rhomboid muscle, it moves in this direction, backward. You see, the trapezius is everywhere, always working with someone else. Everywhere it's an accomplice in actions. It doesn't make any movement on its own, so it turns out as nowhere by itself. The only thing is the lower part and this movement, but even then the latissimus dorsi is involved. The middle part of the trapezius connects the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades are brought together along with the rhomboid muscle. This movement is also very often not used at all in daily life. The shoulder blade slowly shifts into this position and the rear deltoid weakens as a result. So this part of the trapezius works together with the rhomboid muscle, the rear deltoid and partially with the latissimus dorsi. And the lower part of the trapezius muscle, the weakest of them all. If we take the upper, middle and lower, the lower trapezius, it might not even tense up once in a week and you won't even feel it. Over time, you'll notice when it disappears. Everything here will start to hurt and this part will stop moving. It's this part of the thoracic spine that turns out to be the least mobile because of the weakness of the lower trapezius. The most interesting thing is that in this lower part, it comes into contact with the latissimus dorsi, and in this area, adhesions often form between the trapezius and the latissimus dorsi. With its lower part, it attaches to our 12th thoracic vertebra, and very often an adhesion process develops between the fasciae of these muscles, which later makes it difficult for both the latissimus dorsi and the trapezius muscle to function. So, when are we going to restore the function? Specifically with the lower trapezius, because in order to relieve tension from the upper part of the trapezius muscle, which is very often the cause of headaches, it is important to focus on strengthening and activating the lower portion. Even dizziness can actually result from this. Well, attention disorders and memory problems too. These develop due to pain and ongoing muscle tension. And if we create enough effort right here, down below, the shoulder blade will move down here. Then the tension in the upper trapezius area and the levator scapulae muscle, which we can also constantly be tense, will automatically disappear, because these two muscles should balance each other out. They should create equal effort. That's why don't rush to relax the muscle. Don't rush in any way, even if you tried to massage it and the pain got worse afterwards. Try it first. Focus on strengthening the lower trapezius. How? The first step: eliminate areas of tension in the muscle, eliminate trigger points. So friends, take a ball. You can use a tennis ball if you're new to self-massage, but if you're an experienced self-masseur, you should use a denser ball. Key. Find the lower edge of your shoulder blade and start working on all the areas below the lower edge of the shoulder blade. Continue along the line. If you draw a line straight down to the floor, it's the area between your shoulder blade and your spine. This area might even be less painful for you than the spot right here between this edge of the shoulder blade and the spine. Because this muscle, as a rule, is generally inactive. This part of the muscle, for the average person, not an athlete, just your typical office worker, you work on this part right here. Choose a ball depending on the width and size of your torso. You will work through all of this up to the 12th thoracic vertebra. It's okay if you go down to the first lumbar vertebra. It's not a big deal, it's fine. Well, you can use the ribs as a reference. Where your ribs roughly end, that's where the trapezius ends too. Here's how to do it in practice. Watch. But if you need it, there's nothing you can do. If you don't have any walls, you won't be able to do this. If you have a wall, then basically half the work is done. So you find approximately the lower edge on your shoulder blade and stand between yourself and the wall. Place the ball and start moving side to side, shifting. If you find a painful spot, hold the ball on it for a little while. Here you can adjust the pressure, pressing more or less. There will be areas that are more tense and some that are less tense. And work through it like this, right on the ribs themselves. There may be more painful spots, but don't press too hard. You adjust it using your own intelligence, which you have been given. The amount of pressure so you don't hurt yourself. If you're just starting to do this, do it carefully. See how your muscles react to it. If the next day is fine, you did everything right. A little soreness after the first procedures is possible. So you're working through all of this. What are we doing this way? We eliminate not only the areas of tension in the trapezius itself and at the level of the latissimus dorsi, but we also eliminate the adhesion process between the fascia of the trapezius and the latissimus dorsi. What is this? When two muscles are next to each other, or one covers the other between them. In the absence of any prolonged activity, the fascia, the film that covers the muscles, the fascia, worked it out. See how it straightened me out. Do you feel it? And with every second, it straightens me out even more. It's already becoming. Curious? I need to repeat it again. Try it. I mean, it's an interesting effect. I just worked on a few areas, as you can see. The muscles have apparently been activated. They started to perform their function better, started to pull the shoulder blade back in this way. We activated the muscle once again. Schematically, for those who like diagrams, the trapezius is composed of itself. Why is it like this? If we do the left like this, look, it turns out to be this trapezoid shape. Exactly here is the upper part. This one right here. The upper trapezius right here. Once. It works concentrically. It lacks this movement when the shoulder blade comes closer to the spine. This is called a concentric contraction. So this is our middle trapezius. The upper part is working at 300%, meaning it's overloaded. Overload. Here it's working at 50% underload. And how many percent do you think the lower trapezius is working? It's working at minus 320%. This is what's called over-underload. This is the theoretical basis of the concept of medical theories. So, friends, the latest evidence-based medicine. Keep in mind, friends, look what to do. With the help of simple mathematical calculations, formulas using the trapezius muscle theorem, we come to the conclusion that we need to unload the upper part, load the middle part a little, and load the lower part thoroughly. Since we have already created the conditions, revived this area, what do we do? Why do we work on these gaps that are between the muscles? A curious viewer might ask, do we really need to do this? Maybe I should just start doing the exercises right away. Let me stop you right there, young man. The thing is, between the muscles, there is... Here are two fasciae. What do you think is there? A vacuum, emptiness. Here you have two muscles. one covering the other. Between them, right, in these gaps, between the fasciae, there is a gun, an artery. I'm not going to change it. Just imagine that this is still a vein, a lymphatic vessel, nerve, and not just one, there can be several of them. All these structures go to the muscles themselves, which perform this function and also pass them to other muscles. Therefore, if we have an adhesion process here, connective tissue, bridges between the muscles, all of this starts to compress things. The artery is the least susceptible to this compression because the pressure is strong and the artery wall is thick. Try to squeeze it, you won't be able to. You just won't have enough strength. The vein is easily compressed. The lymphatic vessel is also quite easily compressed, and the nerve is compressed without any problem. These three structures suffer from compression. That's why very often when you start exercising, blood starts flowing to the muscle, the blood increases and the muscle fills up. But since we have impaired venous flow, swelling will occur in this muscle and possibly even inflammation. Odds. That's why you won't tolerate physical activity well, and it will take you a long time to recover. Next, lymphatic edema is impaired, which is the same as venous impairment together, chest. But if the innervation is impaired, if the nerve is pinched, then your exercises will look like this. Some of the fibers will participate in the movement and some will not, because, well, if a large branch pinches the nerve, then the whole muscle won't be able to work properly. It will get tired quickly and be injured. But if some small branch of the nerve, which for example innervates this part of the muscle, is affected, everything else will develop, but this part will lag behind or will constantly get injured and inflamed. So, now you understand why we did this? To free up all these structures. So, friends, exercises for the lower part of the trapezius muscle must be done after working it out. Here's the most interesting part. I just did it myself. I haven't done this in a long time. And you'll feel it, even without exercises, as if your shoulder blades have moved back here, further back. Don't be lazy. Put your spoon aside. Put your plate aside. You can finish eating later. Stand up, take a ball or something near the wall. Try it. You'll be surprised. Then write thank you in the comments. Thank you right away. So, friends, what do we do now? You want to, because now you need to load this muscle of ours, which is already ready to work and requires it from you. It's already saying, come on, I want to tense up, make me tense. We can't refuse it. What do? We take the elastic band and attach it to the door. Here, look, you can do everything at home. See, you don't have to leave the house. No need to go out. If you were about to go out, you don't need to. All you need is a door. Open the door, but don't go out yourself. Stay on the same side of the door. So take the elastic band in your hands and now pull it towards yourself. Pull, 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 and try your best with the spot where we massaged before, the place where our lower trapezius is, but you're already familiar with it, right in this area. The lower edges of your shoulder blades, here they are, the lower edges of your shoulder blades, move them right here. So you try to arch your back and you do arch it and you pull at the same time. And with the lower edges of your shoulder blades, you aim right here at the point where your lower trapezius begins. To the 12th, well, okay, if you can't manage this, to the 12th or 11th thoracic vertebra, mish. To its spinous process, try to reach the spinous process of the 12th thoracic vertebra with the lower edge of your shoulder blade. Mish. Of course, you won't actually be able to do it, but by aiming for it, miss. You'll feel how your lower trapezius muscles start to tense up. And to make it easier for you, spread your arms out to the sides a little so that your elbow is pointing not straight down to the floor, but at about a 45-degree angle like this. So you pull and return. Make the movement, pull and return. If we pull the lower edge of our shoulder blades, trying to reach the 11th, or even better, the 12th thoracic vertebra. Spread your arms a little to the sides, hold this position for a second or two, and return. Pull and return. You can do this exercise in a chair, which may be more comfortable for some, so that you don't lean too far forward. So, friends, the next exercise is for training the lower trapezius muscle. Stand near the wall. Stand with your back to the wall and reach your elbows to the wall. Right now, we're only touching the wall with our elbows. The heels are about shoulder width apart. Feet, the distance from the wall to your heels. Besides your elbows, don't touch the wall with anything else right now. Well, here, depending on the size of your glute muscles, they might touch the wall a little bit. If you're standing at a foot's width from the wall, your glute muscles will touch it. If your elbows reach the wall, it's not a big deal, but ideally, only your elbows should be touching it. Your shoulder blade muscles are already somewhat tense in this position. And now, if we turn our hands upward with our palms and start making this kind of movement, let's try to reach the wall with our thumbs. In this position, the muscles between our shoulder blades will work well as the muscles located on the shoulder blade itself. This includes the teres major and minor muscles, which are involved in the movement. The rear deltoid participates a little, but the main movement is done here. In addition to the rhomboid and middle trapezius, the infraspinatus muscle is also very involved in the movement. This is a good exercise. If your shoulder blades touch the wall slightly as you bring your arms together, that's fine. There you go. But here there isn't a focus specifically on the lower trapezius. If we place our arms like this, at a 90-degree angle, this is a well-known exercise like the first. And here, we'll also try to touch the wall with our hands. Here, our lower trapezius also doesn't engage very well. The middle part is more involved. And again, the infraspinatus muscle. And now, to specifically engage the lower trapezius in the movement, watch what we're going to do. Here was the second position and here is the first. You need to place your hands roughly between them at a 45-degree angle. So, the first position is along the body. Here we have the humerus. The second position is about 90 degrees and the one we need for the exercise is 45 degrees. And the forearm will also remain at a 90-degree angle to the upper arm. This is the forearm, this is the upper arm. And now, in this position, we do the same movement. Here, you can turn it upward with your thumb. That is, here we keep a 90-degree angle, but in the shoulder joint, it's already 45 degrees. And right here, you'll see that the lower trapezius will be more involved in the movement. It gets activated very well. Try this exercise as well. The part that's less developed starts to get involved in the movement very well. Also, friends, to develop the lower trapezius, take a resistance band, but it shouldn't be too stiff. It should stretch easily enough. If you hold your arms parallel to the floor and start stretching it just like this, here we have the lower trapezius won't be engaged. Instead, the middle trapezius rhomboid and some upper trapezius will work more here. But we can make it so that it also gets involved in the movement. For this, here we had an exercise where we pulled the band upward at a 45-degree angle from this position. Very good. The doorway helps a lot. And if we place our hands at about this level and stretch the band, in this position our lower trapezius starts to engage. And now our arms are straight in the end position. It's already engaged, and we start bending our arms and pulling the band toward the chest. We keep the forearm at a 45-degree angle to the floor. So we don't pull the arm all the way here. We keep it at about a 45-degree angle to the floor, and we do the exercise. And at the same time, our arm doesn't go straight. Like this, like that. No, not like this. We're pulling like this, but we actually start bending it like this, and we try to do it. Also, try to pull your elbows back. It's like there's a wall behind you, as if you're reaching with your elbows, trying to touch the wall, making this kind of movement. So, you take the band, stretch it, and that is, when we stretch it, you see, not to the maximum, because if we stretch it all the way, we'll touch the chest. So we pull it so that your hand ends up. That's it. Well, about the same distance as here. And from this position, pull up to your chest and back. Straighten your arms, pull back again, keeping the tension the whole time. And here, your lower trapezius will be very well engaged in the movement, and your rear deltoid will also be activated very well. At first, this muscle may get tired quickly, but over time it will gradually get used to it and things will get better. Also, do 2-3 sets of 10 reps in this exercise. After it, you'll also notice how your shoulders start to open up nicely, because it's exactly that part of the trapezius muscle that usually doesn't get activated during movement. Well, friends, after you've done 2-3 sets, it's better to do 3-4 sets of 10 reps. You're a bit tired. After that, work this whole area with the ball once again, and also between the shoulder blades, and then pay attention to how the position of your shoulder blades has changed and how the upper part of your trapezius has relaxed. Notice how well your head has started to move, how your head feels clearer, because the blood flow has improved and life has taken on new vibrant colors. Don't thank me too much, just thank me moderately in the comments. Thank you. A few paragraphs and some kind words are enough. To be continued, it's not necessary, but also check if you're subscribed. To be continued, leave a couple of likes. To be continued, we do sports, we help our parents. Until next time, dear friends. Subtitles by Dima Torzok.